Good morning, traders. So we are looking at the Aussie using the Bill Williams theory again. So I know a lot of you are asking questions on calling out all the different levels, but guys, let's be honest. I don't use the numbers. I can actually delete the price levels off my chart completely, okay? Because it's not something that I adhere to. So I do try and read them out as often as possible. But I think for your sanity, you need to make sure that you understand where I'm calling the levels from, and you won't need to do that. So, for example, this is my level. Why is it a level? Because of my inside tail. There's my inside tail. There is an inside tail. Okay, this is an inside tail. Why is this an inside tail? Because price came past it here. So that's the level we're looking for. Okay, so I'm always drawing levels off the inside tails, and those are my different levels. Okay, so what I want to do is just add a few more in here, just so you get the picture. And there on a fractal and on a fractal, that is an inside. Those are inside tails. Why? Because prices come past them. Okay, so that level there of 44 to 90, I think it is. 44 to 90. So that is a fairly significant level in that we have an inside tail, we've got an inside tail, we've got an inside tail, we've got an inside tail, and we've got quite another inside tail there. We've got a lot of bouncing around off that level. And that's on the weekly. So that's a fairly strong weekly level. And you can see how it lines up with where price has been interacting. Okay, so draw your levels in. It will save you a hell of a lot of sanity. And as I say, I barely look at price. I actually have no clue if I just see prices flashing in front of me on a chart. I need to see the chart itself. Okay, so what we have here on the daily, and there is a bigger picture that is brewing at the moment. And I'm just going to do that. But it is pretty much a flat bottom triangle. Okay, now the oscillator here is also starting to move to the upside. Bear in mind that with our public holiday yesterday, we've got the US market that fell a good 2% yesterday, and currently we have 10 cent, I think, is also down 2% at the moment. Yeah, 2.3%, and the rand dollar 14.38. No real change from last week. But that basically means we are gapping down, and the question is, where are we gapping to? So you can see I have my levels drawn in. Okay, this level that I have here is here's my previous fractal. So there's another one here. There's a fractal level there. Okay, but that's pretty much where we closed. So we closed on this level, 45.050. But what I'm looking for is this inside tail here. Okay, price came below it, so that is an inside tail, and you can see we've come to test it a few times. We did break it here. Okay, and we've broken it again. So I strongly suspect we're coming back down to one of these bottom levels. Okay, and we'll pick them up now on the lower time frame. Yeah, okay. So the 4 hour, I don't think the 4 hour gives us much, just lots of crazy action all over the place. But I think the big thing to look out for right now is we do have a potential flat bottom triangle. Okay, it's very rare that they are appear at the bottom of a move like it's doing now, but it could still play out. Now, often it appears at the top of a move. Anyway, so looking at the alligator gives us nothing on the 4 hour at the moment. Don't even want to bother with it there. Let's look at the 1 hour. Okay, 1 hour we broke below the 200 moving average, and the alligator we've tested. Now I'd expect us to move to the downside. So what I'm looking for is a short today, and it could be a pretty violent one. But have a look at how that ties up with the levels that I've drawn in. Okay, so this was the first move down. One pullback. We're always looking for a second move. Here comes my second move, is what I'm anticipating. And obviously it's going to close this daily gap and ultimately come and tag this bottom level. So the long and short of it is quite simple. Oscillators are grouped to the upside. Okay, it is not at a decent pullback level, I don't think. 50%, so we're at the 50% there. So I would expect us to get a gap down today. Just get rid of this. So I'm expecting us to get a gap down, and then I'm expecting us to get this measured move. Okay, the measured move is a 1,300 point move. Okay, so hope you saw how I got those levels in, and this is what we are looking for. We're looking for the daily gap to close, and we're also looking for a retest of the previous low, which is this double bottom here. Okay, and that plays in with the bigger picture of this triangle. Okay, so in other words, gap down, all the way down, come and test these previous lows here, and then back to the upside. Or not back to the upside there, but back to this downward trend line here. Okay, so that's kind of my view of the world at the moment. And I mean, the other thing to bear in mind is don't expect this move to play out. Okay, it's looking highly probable that it can play out, but your challenge at the moment is there's your next, this is your previous fractal level here. Okay, so that is 45,940. So that's where your stop loss should be. Okay, now the problem with that, for me anyway, is we get a gap down with at this stage it's looking like a good 500 point gap down. That's going to be close to 1,000 point stop loss, which is always a challenge. So anyway, that's kind of my view of this at the moment. And if we just look at what could make it fail, and that would be this. So we've had a trend line break, so we could get a gap down back into this area of congestion here. So if I put a level there, remember I'm on the half hour now, there is my fractal level there. So that is my previous breakout level. Those are my inside bar, inside bar, inside bar, inside. In fact, all of these tails are inside bars because price has gone past it. So that is my level that I would expect for a retest if this trend line was a trend change. In other words, you should still be trading with the trend, and the trend is down, so you're still looking for shorts. It's only if it gets to this trend line and bounces in this zone here and then starts moving back to the upside. That's the only thing that would change my attitude of the shorts. Then I'd be looking for a long. Okay, now the zone is that inside tail together with this level that we've drawn in on the higher time frames. Okay, and it basically lines up with this bottom fractal here. So this is why fractals are so important. Okay, so you've got 40, call it 45 flat. So 45 flat is the level to watch the downside, and what's that? 45,330 is the other level there. So if you start seeing price basically building itself or using these two levels as resistance, that would pretty much line up with a retest of this downward trend line. And then you want to watch the oscillators. If we break up above the zero on the awesome oscillator and this oscillator is grouped down at the bottom here, then you have the potential for a move, a stronger move to the upside. I'm not entirely convinced at the moment because markets are looking rather shaky at the moment. So, and also you've got the Feds coming out tomorrow, so it could add fuel to fire. So yeah, I think that's my view for today. Expecting a gap down, and I would be looking for shorts. So any rally that we get today, I'd be looking to get in short. Now, even if it's a 3-bar rally, I'm looking to get in short and trade with the current trend. And the current trend is down, and I am anticipating a second move to the downside because this was a break of the alligator. It's a retest of the alligator. Now, if we get an hour red bar, even with the gap down red, that to me would confirmation that this previous upward trend of 1, 2, 3 days has broken, and we're now moving to the downside. Okay. So that's kind of my view at the moment. And I think the last thing that we want to do at the moment is this could also be seen as a range. Okay. So let's do it like that. So I've got a triangle drawn in, but it could also be seen as a massive range. There's the top of the range, which is the previous high, which is 46,377, and then the bottom of the range all the way down here at 44,290. And this measured move is pretty much the one that I'm looking for right now, which ties up with the bottom of the range. Okay, so that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for shorts back down to the bottom of the range, and then we'll see whether we can get longs again for the top of the range. Okay, so that's it for me on the Aussie for now. Hope it helps, and I will catch you later. Cheers for now.